Oh, really?
after that, after the fight. It just feels like I've been on like just a great vacation journey. Baku was amazing. Let me start off there.
Please.
Let me start off with Baku, Azerbaijan. Oh my God, what a place!
I heard it's amazing there.
Absolutely incredible.
Everybody who went there was raving about how great it was.
Absolutely incredible. When we got the news, like, okay, the fight's going to be postponed, it's going to go into Baku. I had never heard of the place in my life. I agreed without even looking it up, but in my mind, I was thinking like, okay, this is a place I've never heard of. I started thinking like, I don't know, it's probably going to be something similar to like Saudi, and it's probably just like a lot of desert, blah, blah. And I get there and my mind was absolutely blown. Amazing treatment from Baku City Circuit, welcomed us in. The fans were some of the best I've ever encountered, man. They were so happy to have the UFC there. Everyone in the streets, like people who weren't even fight fans, were just excited that the UFC was in Baku. So like that added to the experience. And then it's just beautiful, man. Like,
What is it like? What does it look like?
So where we were,
Is it right
yeah,
there?
so that's Old Town. So I did a tour through there.
Whoa. How old
for-
is Old Town?
I forgot, but I know that 4,000 people still live in Old Town. There's boutique hotels in there. There's just so much history as like when it was built, kind of what they're known for.
Whoa.
I don't remember what that building is, but the architecture there is one of the things that's the flame towers. So at night, there's just projections and like it'll be like the flag, or it'll actually be like flames, because Baku is known for oil, like being one of the first oil countries. This is the Carpet Museum, an amazing place full of carpets that are like century years old.
They built it to look like a carpet. How fucking
It's
wild
crazy.
is that?
And all these carpets are handmade, like passed down generation after generation. So like they tell you how deep the culture and like the stories of these carpets, and like how, oh my God, and clean, friendly people.
I know a bunch of people that went there decided to stay for a few days.
Honestly, I wish that I would have stayed longer. I've already booked family trips. I've told everybody we're going back to Baku.
Wow.
Man,
Cool. That's
just thinking
awesome.
about it, I'm like, dude, this is a place that I want to visit for the rest of my life. I want to just keep going back to Baku, man.
That's dope.
Yeah. So,
And obviously you had an amazing result there too.
yeah, I think that I think that it really played into just my performance. I was just in a really good place. I was in a good place, but I was also in kind of a fucked up state, like not gonna lie. I was just so happy to be across the world doing what I love to do, and to be like treated like we're actually appreciated for, like for what we do. And so that helped me get through all the other shit that
What was the other shit? What was going on?
Oh man, so I knew that we were going to be jet lagged no matter what. I knew it because we're traveling, super
It's
far.
like 16-hour flight, right?
Yeah, super long flight. So I knew we were going to be jet lagged, so I made sure that we got there 2 weeks early to adjust. It took about almost about a week to like fully adjust. And then so during fight week, say first day of fight week, I'm like throwing up and shit and nonstop.
Oh no.
And I'm like, okay, this is great. Like, this is exactly what I want to be feeling right now. Pressure's on. I got to fight, like I'm super motivated. Yeah. And, I'm just like, I don't know what am I going to do, man? Like,
What was it?
I don't even know.
Food poisoning?
I don't think so,
Cold?
because
Some kind of cold?
everybody that I was with, we all ate the same thing.
You were the only one who got
I was
sick?
the only one, man. I was the only one.
Wow.
And so,
And you don't cut a ton of weight.
no. So I think
What do you walk around at?
right now, I'm in vacation mode. I'm, 228, 230, something
That's
around
still
there.
compared to guys
I don't get over 230. I'll
like
never.
Pereira.
Yeah.
He cuts a ton.
Yeah. If I just do not let myself get over 230. That's just like that's my oath to myself.
And then in camp, what do you get down to?
20, I'd say between 20 and 25 is where I like to balance. 220, 225. And anytime in there, I'm good because I know that that's where I'm going to fight at. So when I'm in camp, it's, you know.
And then when do you start your cut?
So the way that it happens is the last kind of 2 weeks, I don't necessarily do too much of like a diet change. It's just I'm always looking to peak on fight day, not like a peak plateau format that a lot of people go by. So I'd say usually, let's say we weigh in on Friday, that Tuesday, I'm around 214.
Oh, okay.
213, something like
that's
that.
Nice.
And then, you know, those last days is kind of like water load, proteins and fats
That's a
only.
nice cut.
I sit in the sauna no matter what, like an hour, maybe. Like my weight cut this time I hit mitts for an hour and a half. I laid down in a sauna blanket and I was on weight. So it was like under 2 hours for me to be on weight.
So you're not depleted?
Not at all.
Feel good?
Not
And
at all.
how long did it take for that cold to get out of your system or whatever it was?
I still felt it. I still felt it a bit on fight day, but there was nothing that was going to, like, my mind for like through this camp, through this fight, man, like I'm so happy for everything that I went through. Honestly, like there was nothing that was going to take away like my shine or my joy or my feeling of like being ready, being prepared. It was a battle with my mind, and every day I had to make a choice to like
Stay on
to
it.
just be better, to be
Yeah.
bigger, to be happy, to just, you know, to just like embrace everything. This was all like everything's just been about embracing the obstacles that come.
So the last time we talked was before the Pereira fight.
Yeah.
And it was a great fight.
Thank you.
You had some great success. It was a tough fight. And then what is it like after that fight? So you face the best in the world and you know that you can hang with them. You lost the fight, but you didn't gain a ton of experience. You went 5 rounds with one of the greatest. And what is it like after that?
I'd say everything seems very different now. I have been, since the Pereira fight, I've been to, I'd say, more than 6 countries. And there's fans there. Everyone like knows who I am now. And that is something that was a shock to me. Especially coming off a loss and just knowing that like I gave my all in that fight, and that's, I guess, what the people wanted from me, to get that type of like acknowledgement, because I'd been in the UFC for so long. But that fight, I guess, really showed people like who I am, and I got to show the world who I am, and against a guy like Alex. So now I feel like I've at least kind of made my mark and been like, hey, I'm here, you know?
Right.
And so people are now like, okay, Khalil, I know who this guy is. You can say the name. And now people kind of, you know, they're familiar with who I am now. But the other thing that it showed me was that I now know who I am and what I'm capable of. I spent majority of that fight just soaking in the moment and just like, oh, I'm here. I was excited to be there. I gave everything I had, but then going back and watching it, I'm like, I saw a lot of the mistakes that I made.
What mistakes specifically?
The number one mistake that I think was made in that fight is that it was my first 5-rounder. And when I was going into the 4th, because I took a lot of damage in the end of the like middle to end of the 3rd, so I was up 1 and 2. The beginning of 3, I was starting to kind of. He started to kind of take over halfway through the round, and once he started hitting me, I was like, oh shit, he's established his range, and now I'm feeling it. So it wasn't necessarily like a cardio thing. It was just like I started taking damage, and everybody knows this guy hits hard. So I was taking the damage. I was rocked. I was dizzy going into the 4th in the break. I remember John Wood saying, all right, man, like, you're doing great. 10 more minutes. Like, you can do anything 10 minutes. Just stick in there. We got this. And because I wasn't familiar with the 5 rounds, I took 10 minutes as sellout. So in the 4th round, I came out like ready to, I wasn't thinking with the mindset of like, I'm up 2. He just took the 3rd. 4th round, I need to maybe relax, maybe
Pace
not,
yourself with the 5th.
not get hit,
Right.
whatever. 4th round, I came out, I bit down, and I went to war. I think that's what lost me the fight, for me personally.
So you made a lot of adjustments in the Jamahal Hill fight.
1,000%.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see, first of all, what a performance.
Thank you.
I mean, he dominated a world champion. I mean, dominated him. It was such a clear-cut victory. And it was a victory where a lot of people thought that you were going to struggle with him. And, you just really showed a level above the Pereira fight. And I think maybe part of it is what you're talking about, like choosing when to engage and when not to engage. Like there was moments in that fight where you were dominating the fight, but there's moments where he was coming after you. You just moved. You moved away from him. And I know it pissed him off, but it's like, hey, man, you were way ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You were way ahead, and you were dominating the exchanges. Then when you chose to exchange with him, you were hurting him and dropping him. It was very impressive, man.
Thank you. And that was the product of, really reviewing mistakes. And
You also do some wild shit like standing hammer fists. Is that something you practice? Were you practicing
Absolutely,
that?
man.
That's a crazy
Absolutely,
move, man.
We're artists, I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that, I try my best to always embody the artist in mixed martial arts. I think it gets lost in the growth of the sport of MMA, But, from the past conversations we have and you understanding kind of how I was before, like, man, I need some type of outlet for creativity,
Right.
and
that's what it is, standing hammer fist.
I mean, my mind, my essence is art. So I'm like, how can I, paint this picture of like expression of combat? You know what I mean? Like there's so many different, we got Silat, we got Krav Maga, we got all these things. And it's like, let me paint, like what can I use to,
That's a bold thing to do, to use something very creative like that on a world champion, too. Jamahal Hill's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, he's dangerous, man.
You hit him with standing hammer fist.
Yeah, I'm dangerous too, like I try to,
sure.
I try to like, I always try to insert myself into, into these things too, because I think about it. Yeah, Alex, fucking hard hitter, dangerous guy, and I have to like, yeah, so am I. Let's do it, Alex or Jamal, same thing. Like I know he's got one punch power, all these things. I'm like, let me insert myself. Let me take some chances. Let me be bold. I think that's.
I
the
think
fun
there's an
part in it.
advantage that you have also as a lighter guy in that division is that you move quicker, and that was kind of evident in that fight. That you're like, there's a range of light heavyweights, and you're on the smaller range.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of guys like Drickus, who's bigger than you, who's the middleweight champion.
Yeah.
He's fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
It's the opposite thing,
Yeah,
right? He's
for
cutting
sure.
a ton of weight. I don't know what he cuts, but every time I interview him, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How the fuck are you 185 pounds? You're enormous. He looks
Yeah.
like a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And he is a heavyweight when he fights. I mean, he's over 205 for sure.
Yeah,
when he
these
fights.
guys, they blow up.
Blow up. And you don't. And I think because of that, you have this, you have speed, and not just speed of the strikes, but the way you move in and out. It's like when you close the distance on Jamal, you could see it was like there were some moments where I think he was surprised by the speed in which you were able to close the distance.
Yeah, I think so as well. There were some reactions in there that I was picking up on. I could see a bit of frustration,
Yeah.
I feel like I was able to read a lot of the things before they would come. And I mean, I heard everything that his coaches were saying, and in my mind, I was just seeing him struggle with like not being able to react the way he wanted, and maybe that was because there was the speed that they weren't necessarily dealing with.
The speed and also the leg kicks. You fucked him up early with leg kicks.
Yeah.
And it really had a significant effect when you see him switching stances, and he doesn't like to stand orthodox. You know. You saw a lot of changes.
Yeah, he did. I can say that, you know, there were some improvements made. I think that he probably spent some more time working on his footwork. He was a lot less flat-footed than he usually is. I could tell that, like, a lot of the times his toes were pointed at me, and that wasn't what I studied. You know what I mean? Like,
So he made some changes.
he'd made some changes.
He
for sure.
landed some very good leg kicks, specifically in the first round.
Yeah, thank you. I always do my best to, you know, try to channel my Muay Thai and
Yeah, no,
you know
you
what I
do.
mean?
You're like one of the few. Like I remember we talked about that, about the Eric Anders fight. Like when you came back from Thailand the first time, you were fighting like a Thai. And me and DC were having a blast with it. We're like, look at this, like light on the front foot. It was like totally different approach.
Yeah.
But he landed some very good leg kicks in the first round too. It was a good exchange, but yours were doing a lot more damage. And
Yeah, he started off with the leg kicks. Like, I think he threw maybe 3 or 4 calf kicks before I actually started answering back. Yeah, he started it, and I was just like, okay, cool. If this is the game we're playing, like, I love this game, you know,
Yeah.
like I love this game. So, yeah, it was a great fight, man.
Why did you start the beginning of the fight like with your hands down, just like walking towards him?
Because that's how I felt, Joe. I mean, like, I feel like in that fight, so there was not necessarily like beef between Jamal and I. Like, we never really exchanged, you know, there wasn't any like heated discussions or anything. But we all have phones, we all have social media, we all, you know, I get Google alerts and stuff anytime I'm mentioned. And so, like, I've seen things that were said, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't agree with it, and I don't, you know, whatever. If this guy looks at me as however, that's just his opinion.
What was he saying? Like, what was it?
Just like, I think it were like things again about like the Alex fight, or just saying that like he's gonna outskill me, or, you know, I don't belong in the division, just, you know, things
You
like
weren't in
that.
that
Like,
level.
don't take my exact word for it, but
Right.
that's kind of how, like, that's the stuff that I kind of saw. So for me, there was no real reason to show any like respect, you know, if we're in the same building, if we're in the same room. I just, like, whatever, I wanted to just kind of block him out. And then during the weigh-ins, so I had a press conference, and they were saying like, hey, in the Alex fight, you know, there was a lot of blood, you got cut up, da 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 da. Can we expect the same thing from you in this fight? And I said, no, there's not going to be any blood on my face. How you're interviewing me now is how you're going to interview me after the fight. I'm going to look the same. He didn't like that. I didn't say his name, but he didn't like that. And so at the weigh-ins, he come like, and mind you, we had 3 days before the weigh-ins, and we'd seen each other in the hotel room and blah, 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 or in the hotel, you know. There were many more opportunities for him to say what he said, but he chose to do it at the weigh-ins in front of Dana White. And I thought that was like, come on.
What did he say?
He said, oh, you're going to bleed. You're going to bleed. You better believe that. You're going to bleed. Like, in my face, like, oh, I'm going to make you bleed. And I was just like, okay, like, sure. You know, like, that was just really, like, internally, like, I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, whatever. And
Why did you think that you wouldn't get cut? Like, what made you think?
I knew how I've been training and what I'm prepared for, and I know the type of athlete and fighter and man that I am, and I just knew that it wasn't going to happen. I was just that confident in my abilities and the work that I put in that I just knew it wasn't going to happen.
It's pretty wild, also considering you're coming off of a loss. Like, you had more confidence coming off of a loss.
100%, because the loss just showed me that there's more work to do. You know, like, people always say back to the drawing boards, and like, it was more than the drawing boards for me. It was like back to the dirt, back to the Vegas weather, back to the dying on the assault bike, back to challenging myself, back to going deeper. Who am I really? What am I really capable of? And, you know, like, that was it. It was just like deep internal digging to get out and to discover what I'm made of. And so in that comes confidence. In that comes like, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I can do. And so that's how I felt, you know?
Wow.
So that's why I walked out like that, because I was just like,
Because it's kind of wild. I was going, what is he doing?
but I was also prepared, like I didn't want to rush anything. Like nothing needed to be rushed. Like the cage is closed and we got 25 minutes. Why am I going to run out,
Right.
No, like I walk here. I know that you're not going to do anything. I wasn't threatened. Like that statement in my face didn't like, I was just like, God, here we go again. You know what I mean? Like another guy that wants to like get in my face. Like, yeah. And I did the job that needed to be done.
This is a very measured performance. And some people didn't like that. Some people, the casuals, I think there's casuals that
They wanted to see blood.
they just want to see chaos. They don't care about your health.
They don't care about me at
right.
the age of 50 with, you know what I mean? When this is all over and I want my knees and my hands and my fingers and everything to work.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to speak sentences and go through the airport on both my feet and not in a wheelchair. They don't care about that.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
like
the only time it bothers me is when referees react. Like when referees separate people because of booing. Like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, you can't. The referees can't be influenced by the crowd.
Don't give in to the casuals.
You can't, man.
Because I thought it was a very smart performance. Like if you're gonna fight a guy like Jamahal, who's an awesome counter striker, one punch knockout power, got a series of bodies behind him. Like he's knocked out a lot of dudes.
Yeah,
he knows how to do it. You got to fight him smart.
For sure.
And that's what you did.
And I wasn't, I just like, to be clear, I know the things that I said can come off as like overly confident or whatever. I wasn't sleeping on Jamahal, like I knew what he was capable of and I trained hard for him. I really did. Every day was dedication. Every day was, strategy and planning.
When did you feel like everything was coming together in the fight?
Before the fight.
Really?
Like, yeah. The win for me happened before the fight. Like I said, I think with camp, the training, my head trainer, like with John, with Lorenzo, Christian, just the guys who are in my circle, and the work that we do, that really helped me with, a lot of confidence and a clear vision and a path to victory, and I just stuck to it. So I just had a feeling that if I stick to the plan, I win this fight.
And you did. Yeah, it was very measured, very smart, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it because I like when people fight smart. I really do. When people maximize the amount of damage that they put out, minimize the amount of damage they receive in return. That's what you did.
Yeah. And so, now we got the next